Hello. So today I'm going to be talking about I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jennette McCurdy. Now, I didn't know who Jennette McCurdy was. I've only ever watched one Nickelodeon programme in my entire life, and I think that was Keenan and Kel. I think by the time the TV show that made her popular, is called iCarly, came onto the scene, had already finished university. So there was absolutely no way that that show was aimed at me in any way whatsoever. So yeah, I didn't know who Jennette McCurdy was at all. But obviously, if you exist in the old booktube sphere, then you probably have heard this book being mentioned quite a lot. It's got a lot of hype. I was a bit sort of unsure, a memoir from a 30-year-old. I was a bit like, I'm not too sure what this book can teach me. But I was very, very wrong. This book covers around 25 years of McCurdy's life, from her about age 5, 6-ish, all the way up until she's around 30 years old. The main themes within this book would be abusive relationships, eating disorders, and love, I think. And really, what we're doing in this novel is we are being given a very, very frank, incredibly honest account of McCurdy's relationship with her mother, which, as the book unfolds, although it's quite obvious probably from the title, was a very, very, very unhealthy relationship, an abusive relationship on the mother's part. And what the book really struggles with is McCurdy's absolute love for her mother and her ability to understand at the time that she knew something wasn't quite right, but that love was overpowering everything else. And it wasn't until reflection that she was able to understand the extent of the abuse her mum was inflicting on her. To give you a couple of sort of like ideas, from a very young age, the mother would calorie count. From 11 years old, the mother would force McCurdy to count calories with her in order to make sure that she could stay as thin as possible and look as young as possible, so she could keep playing young characters in Hollywood, as that was kind of her brand. That was what she was known for. The mum would also, I believe, up until the age of 14, 15, maybe later, I can't quite remember, would shower McCurdy and inspect her body, which, seems very, very odd to us, but to McCurdy, this was just a way of ensuring that she looked as good as she possibly could for whatever audition she might be having or the part she was playing. I think a crucial thing to also understand is that McCurdy was raised a Mormon, and in fact Mormon beliefs were sort of entrenched in her family ethos, and it was a battle with that and Hollywood, and being in Hollywood and being the Mormon is also explored throughout this book. And as mentioned, the book also takes a really, really blunt look at eating disorders and the eating disorders that are sort of plagued McCurdy's life and her relationship with food throughout her life. And also, really honest with how much we as a reader are going, your mother's a monster, get away from her. But also really honest in the way of being like, but I loved her. Like there's nothing, I loved her. And at the time, I wanted to please her. That was all I wanted to do with my life. And I think that's what's making this book really good. That's what I think the hype is kind of real. Believe the hype, everybody. This book is also very, very funny. I laughed out loud multiple times throughout it. I think the humour in it is beautifully well pitched. Most chapters will end with a kind of like a little 1-2 punch or a little one-liner that so perfectly wraps up how messed up her life was, but also her ability now to look back on it and be like, and make a joke of it, and but never at the expense of the issue being talked about. And that's what I want to get onto. Another reason I think this book is being so well loved is it is so beautifully balanced. There is such a wonderful weaving of the humour and the issues being explored and the bluntness of what she's saying and the sort of the personal touch that she places on it. Every single page, every single chapter is so well realised. And I think as you're going through this novel, you're always kind of sort of questioning, but also accepting everything that's being given to you, because she's really done a great job. And it's written really fluidly. It's such an easy read. I think most people could do this in a day or two. That is, without a doubt, enough rambling about this book. I have to rush off to work. But I just wanted to... My pile of books to review is getting bigger as I'm sort of getting busier as the semester starts. So I'm trying to sort of just get things up as I can, and they may not be the best. Believe the hype, everyone. This book was really good. Really good. I'm not sure if it's going to make my best reads of 2022 because that is a pretty impressive list actually, but it might do. It might do. It might slip in there. And as I said, I did not care about iCarly or the Nickelodeon channel or or Jennette McCurdy because I didn't know who she was. I just didn't care. And I really went in this quite apprehensive, thinking, a memoir from a 30-year-old, I'm just not too sure what she can teach me. And you know what? I stand corrected. Hands up. Great. Really good job. I learnt a lot, and I think she's done a fantastic job here. Right, that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching. If you have watched, this is a very, very new channel, so thank you to all the people who have subscribed. If you like this in any way whatsoever, then maybe subscribe. It's totally up to you. There's millions of us. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next one.